Hey there, guys. We've got news on Global for September 22nd. It's a big news video today, and joining me to carry the majority of the video is once again WindFoxie.
Hey guys, I'm here to carry Zinza as usual.
As you,
He needs help. He needs help once in a while, and when he asks for me, he's in big trouble. So
in,
I'm
in,
here.
indeed. So this is definitely a very special banner that we had you for. So are you excited about the Yuna Riku Pain X2 banner?
I'm so excited, but not for the banner.
Alright, so let's talk about these units that are. Some people like the units and they did enjoy the game, but these units were not done justice, in my opinion, for Brave
Oh,
Exvius.
definitely not. When they came out in JP, I really want to pull them, and then especially Yuna. But as soon as I saw the skill sets, I got more and more disappointed and frustrated every single day the banner is on. Like why do they keep messing up Yuna? The original Envina was premium, and it was, well,
Not
you,
good. She wasn't for the first year. She's good now.
she's good now, but when she came out, I mean, there's no putting it nicely. She came out really sucky as the premium unit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this Yuna, well, she has her niche use, but still, it's not the kind that it's not what I would have wanted from Yuna. Is all I
Mm-hmm.
can say.
Pretty much. And then the other two is let's talk about the unit. So first of all, the step up banner is kind of generic. There's no perks here. It's just your usual kind of throwaway banner. But here it is. And then the
Something
units.
interesting with the Something interesting with the banner is that this is a 3-in-1. In JP, I think they split it between Yuna and Pain and Riku banner.
Oh, did they?
If I'm not,
That's kind of strange because Riku is actually the winner of these three, so they had her split with Pain instead of a standalone. Interesting. I actually don't remember because I didn't pull on this at all in JP.
yeah, I recall it was a Yuna standalone banner and a Pain and Riku banner together. But
Oh.
I mean, they were also released at the same time, so I don't think that really affected much.
Okay. So, Yuna. This is the Songtress Unit in the base form, and then Floral Falau Yuna in the shift form. This unit is it's got extreme niche uses. Really, the only thing that's even worth mentioning on this whole kit is she has a single target amplify for water that goes to 100% on a 10 turn cooldown. So basically the exact same thing as the current Leftia. She's got the ramping 100% single target fire amplify. Well, Yuna has the water version. It's single target, it's only for one turn, it's a 10 turn cooldown. And other than that, she doesn't really do anything. Am I missing anything,
So,
Foxy?
so that's where my goddamn 100% water M went. Where's my Nicole upgrade, man?
Exactly. And this, in my opinion, this kind of frustrates me. I'm going to rant for a minute. So, Nicole was supposed to have gotten his 100% water amplify like a month and a half ago based on, the expected schedule. And Gumi has either skipped or heavily delayed him, probably in an effort to sell this terrible unit. Which I can I guess I can understand it because when Nicole is just straight up a better version of Yuna and he's like, quote unquote, free because he's so old, I get why they would delay him. That being said, it still feels so bad that they just take away the better free version of this unit and then they try to sell you a worse version only to, I assume, bring Nicole's upgrades after this banner is gone. Maybe Nicole skipped permanently. Who knows? Where's Zeal? But
Can you scroll down to the skills for a bit? Yuna's skills.
what was that?
Can you scroll down to her skills for a bit?
Okay, right here.
Where is it? Everything you see here, she cannot multicast. She has only a single cast on her. So you can't imbue stuff. You can't Imperil together and Amp together, you can do all the goodness that Nicole does. You have to do it one turn at a time.
Yeah, like
That is
this unit is just it's just not a good unit, and Global is apparently not fixing her. Like their fix is to delay the better free version and try to sell you the worse version. So yeah, it's like a trance cooldown. It's oh my god, this unit. Why? When we've got like AoE 100% party-wide amplifies on Sylvie, they want to sell you a dramatically inferior support unit that's like a single target amper. It's crazy. I don't understand it. If anyone needed a buff this week, it was Yuna. The other two at least can deal some damage. Yuna is just like a buffer that has a single target water amplify, and water's not even a good element on Global right now. Like, yeah, she can buff Titus or Jack to 100% amplify, but what about the rest of the team? You're not going to run a dedicated water team when Sylvie exists, and like Global apparently doesn't realize this. Why wouldn't they change it to be AoE? Like that single change, if they just made this cooldown AoE, like Sylvie, she would all of a sudden be worth using, because then you could take a dedicated water team. You could go with Jack, Titus, your imbuable like Chizuru, your Olive, etc. And you could make a whole team for water, and Yuna could be a top tier, amazing support for that team because she buffs the whole party with AoE 100% water. Just like Sylvie, who at this point is like, what, 5-6 months old at this point? Like, expecting an AoE, or a support unit to be AoE amp, I don't think I'm out of bounds here, am I? Am I, Foxy?
no. I like Yuna, so no.
I mean, I am so mind blown how Global lets this slip through and keeping her single target on a 10-turn cooldown. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I cannot even begin to comprehend why none of the units that a lot of people are looking forward to from JP are not, quote unquote fixed for GL, because we definitely have no use for this kind of,
single target
skill set
buffing
at this point. Yeah.
It's so goofy. And I guess I mentioned that her STMR is technically the highest magic accessory in the game for mages. That's nice. Okay, there's one redeeming factor if you pull her off banner, and her TMR is like generic. It's like whatever. It's a shirt.
I mean,
go for it.
Are we going to coming first in the future for FFBGL? Are the JP units are they just gonna be STMR fodder from now on? It's really frustrating when you want to like the unit as well, just instead of just pulling them for their STMR or the TMR.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I've complained about the same thing before. Like, I am personally a big fan of Final Fantasy units. I've got a few of my favorites that are coming up soon, like Kuja, Cecil, and Bartz. These are three of my favorite units. All three of them are bad. They're just bad. I mean, people are going to argue in the comments, oh, they've got this one niche use, like Kuja's good for the Catastrophe trial to use his 160 in peril. I don't give a damn about a unit being good on one single trial and then sitting on the bench for eternity. I want a unit to be good in every team, like freaking Sylvie or Esther was for a year and a half, etc., etc. Why can't they make my favorite units good like that? No, Kuja's going to have a 160 in peril for the catastrophe trial. That is the only point of Kuja in the entire game. Guess what? Tsukiko already power crept him because she does a better light in peril. So there you go. So Kuja, before he even came out, is already power crept, and it annoys me because I really liked Final Fantasy IX. I love the game, but yeah, is he going to be buffed to be worth it? 99% chance, no, he won't be.
No. Every time I see a JP unit in GL, it's just that. Even seeing JP units in JP, it's just big sad because you never feel like you're pulling what's worth,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially when they're so expensive.
Exactly, it's crazy. But let's go to the next unit. So this one is, in my opinion, the best of the batch for a few reasons. For one thing, Berserker Rico, well, okay, she's getting a global upgrade, which is kind of funny because they actually previewed the global upgrade. We're going to skip just a moment down to her Shock Storm skill. So, unless she has more unannounced upgrades, this is irrelevant. She doesn't even use this skill. So, unless they buff this astronomically high, it's an irrelevant buff. Because this is a skill she never even uses. She's an LB damage dealer, and she does good damage on her LB. I gotta admit, she is a strong unit. So, Berserker Rico, she has a few things. She has like a weird normal attack, like meme strategy that she can use for damage per turn. It's actually okay-ish damage for like a trial or something. That being said, if you're going to a trial, take a global unit and do better damage per turn. But for bursting, she bursts pretty hard. So I'm going to show you my damage spreadsheet, which I completely overhauled my damage spreadsheet. I got some feedback from people saying, you should use killers and calculations and all. So I do. I completely updated my spreadsheet, as you can see. Now for Dark Visions, I calculate units based on the upcoming final boss. And then for Clash of Wills, I calculate them on the upcoming or current final boss. So now we use killers. But anyway, using killers, you can see Riku right here is a really hard burster. She burst really, really hard. She's like the fourth highest burster for the upcoming the final boss on Dark Visions JP 2620. They used the same race for four Dark Visions in a row, Beast and Undead. It's kind of crazy, but it made it really easy to calculate for. So for the next 4 Dark Visions final bosses, Riku's going to be great. She's going to be great. Really high damage. She is naturally Thunder Element, meaning she's perfect synergy with Sylvie, which is really, really... That being said, I think we might be switching to an Earth meta coming up in Dark Visions, but Thunder is still extremely, extremely strong. So Riku is really, really hard bursting. Also, you can see over here Sky with Riku's STMR. Sky, this is the final piece of the Dragoon, total build for Sky. And the TMR, it's actually not even the STMR, it's the TMR, is this chest piece that boosts modifiers for female units. That includes Dragoons. So, yeah, I know I kind of talked for like 5 minutes. What do you think about Riku, Foxy?
Well, she helps guys a lot. A 1-year-old unit. I mean, she is cute. The sprite is nice. She according to your spreadsheet, she does good damage. But at the end of the day, it's a JP unit. After a while, she's gonna go back to the bench. She still doesn't get much use. Her skill set is still niche, just so to speak.
Yeah, so this little calculation right here is, for people to realize, this is her shifted LB using Titus's STMR for like the 5-turn burst, etc. So you kind of need that to get this big number over here for this really high burst. And she is, like I said, elemental locked to Thunder. So she's not quite as flexible as, for example, Olive or Chizuru, because these can go on any team, while people like, Titus, Jekt, and Riku and Tsukiko are all locked to an element. So for the top units, you kind of prefer elementally flexible, but at least she is locked to the correct element, which we're going to talk about in a moment with Pain, because she is not.
That's true. And one short anecdote about Riku. When I first played Final Fantasy X2, I didn't know how to build anyone in the team, but for some reason Riku was my highest DPS. So I focused everything on her, all my good stuff on her, and then every time I encountered an enemy, I would use her Machina Mo form to kill the enemies. And then when I got to the end game, the difficulty spiked, and she couldn't kill the bosses as easily anymore. So when she dies, I was screwed at the end game area. I was like, oh my god, I have to go back and level up. My other girls. I was like, oh no.
You focused it all on one unit.
Yes. So Riku has a special place in my heart in terms of this banner.
Nice. But yeah, and then as far as her STMR, like I mentioned, it is a modifier boost to all physical damage. This is chaining skills or jump skills. This does not include LB. So this is really just for Dragoons, and it's female only, meaning the only Dragoons who can even use this are Sky, kinda Roberta, and technically Berserker, but no one's using Berserker. Honestly, no one's even really using Roberta anymore as a Dragoon. But this does make him better. But Sky does have the double dipping modifier boost, so she scales insanely hard on Dragoon gear. So Sky really loves this. And then this is a calculation right here. You can see this is with her splitting her amp, because Sky is locked to wind, and she can't get the 100% Thunder amp. Even with that being said, on a Thunder or Earth team with only a 47% amp, that would be her 50 self-wind amp, plus you have to imbue her with the proper team element to get the Dark Visions bonus. So that would equalize to a 47% amp. That is still one of the highest jumpers versus Beast Undead. Keep in mind, this is versus Beast Undead, which Sky gears for basically for free, because her intrinsic covers both of those. And Sky is perfect for these races on the upcoming Dark Visions boss. So yeah.
She does so much damage.
Mm-hmm. So Riku's a good pull, and her upgrade, they upgraded a skill she never uses. That being said, like I said, if they change the modifier to 6,000 or something, I don't know, I'm making up a crazy number, then sure, we'll use that. But like, I'm sure they gave it like a 50x modifier upgrade. It's still going to be worthless, but we'll see. Maybe this is all of a sudden her new best ability. Who knows? And then Pain. I hate Pain. So tell me about Pain, Foxy.
She's like Squall initially. She's like Squall, but female.
So everything we said about Riku, some of it applies to Pain, but most of it doesn't. For one thing, Pain's damage, just her flat-out damage, is worse than Riku's, because she has less, she has less, what am I called? I'm getting confused. She's the wrong element. She's a dark element. We don't have a 100% dark amplify, even if we did. If we did, maybe we'd run a dark team, but we don't. So because we don't have a big dark amplify, she will just never fit on a final team because her damage is low. She's the wrong element. And that's basically all there is to say about Pain. She's just Riku, but way worse. And she doesn't have a good TMR or STMR. Her STMR is, I guess it's technically good. It's LB damage on an 85 attack success rate. That's fine. But if you really want that, go and craft the Hermit's Ring from Clash of Wills. So, yeah. And then her Trust Mastery is basically bad. It's like a better Sephiroth chest for females, but still, Clash of Wills gears exist. So does Balthier's STMR. So does, Roos, Nelica. We got so many better chess pieces at this point. So, yeah.
And her sprite, her Brave Shift sprite I don't like it.
It is a little strange. It is true to the game, but yeah, I always thought that was one of the stranger models. Like it looks like she's being crucified on like a scarecrow. It really does.
It really does. Well, I played Final Fantasy X2 when I was about 10 or 11. I was like, oh my god, this is some design.
Yeah.
At the very least, Yuna look cute, but Pain looks like, she's torture or something.
I know. Oh jeez. And then the cards. So all three of them share a terrible card. All three of them. So it's 110 stats, no flat stats at all, no passives at all, except for some killers. And that is it. This is a horrible card that you're not going to run because it has no flat stats. Basically, at this point, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, even my new account, Rasnus, is only using cards with flat stats at this point. So there is no reason to ever run this card because it has no flat stats on it for a damage dealer. And that is, again, a missed opportunity for Global to fix this. They should have slapped on a 500 attack for X2 units, and that would have been better, but they didn't. So yeah. Sad face.
So sad.
And then the event is, I don't even know. I think it's a Mog King. It looks like a Mog King. I didn't even browse this. That's right. Yeah, and you can upgrade the old 7-star versions of their TMR or STMR. Like the Tiny Bee gets an upgrade. It's still one-handed, therefore it's worthless. Fairy Earring gets like a... Actually, is it upgraded? I guess it is. It says +1.
It is, yeah.
I'm not sure. So what is the change? Just the higher stats, I guess? It looks the same.
Highest stats and... Wait.
Oh, actually...
I think
I think the original didn't have attack power on it, so now it has attack power on it. But it's still bad.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
And then Pain's sword gets upgraded to two-hander, which is good for her, I think. Actually, it doesn't even give flat stats for her.
No, it's still poo-poo.
Oh my God! What is going on here? This event is so bad. This is such a bad event. Why aren't we skipping this event? And then some generic stuff. Nullify, stop, nullify, try. I mean, sure, these are nice for free players. My little new account will like this, but it's still whatever. And we've got, I think, a bonus battle. The Arid Assault versus this dude in the desert. It's pretty easy. Go in there with whatever and blow it up. I'm pretty sure it's not locked to any series, so just take your best units, kill it on turn 1, 2, or 3, whatever. And then I think you get, you get fragments every day, so I think you get a bunch of free fragments for these units. So I guess if you pull Riku, that's kind of nice. Otherwise, whatever. There it is.
I think might as well, because, it's basically fragment dungeon for X2 units.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we're getting Albed Riku Girls upgrades. So they gave these
exciting.
They gave these upgrades to us like a week or two ago, and then they took them out the next day. I guess, whoopsie, they came early. But now they're here for, officially they're here to stay. So the crown just gives her 2,000 attack power, and then she gets some free upgrades. At EX3, she gets Machine Slayer for the party, and then these are free. Her potion's upgraded, and then her LB and SLB gets upgraded. And I have some damage calculations over here. I should have put this in light blue. But this is built versus the upcoming Dark Vision's final boss, so Beast and Undead. So when building for those killers, here's her damage. It's pretty low, and the whole point of Riku is the fact that she does a barrier for the party, which you're never going to use in Dark Visions. So, I mean, I don't know. If you love Riku, she's way better than she was, but she's not super great, even if you crown her. But there it is.
And I wish they changed her LB and SLB to something else. It's so hard to look at, even with the upgrades. Actually, it's even harder to look at it with the upgrades to the LB and SLB. It's literally just higher mitigation and barrier, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the damage modifier went up too.
Yeah, like from tickling someone to maybe slapping them in the face.
Yeah, it's still not to the point where she's going to be like meta or anything. It's a little sad. And then here is the previewed from the stream, the intrinsic abilities. We got 2 of them, and they are from different sources. So here is Melia's. Melia's is going to go into the intrinsic guild shop. Now, the recipe will go, not the intrinsic itself. The recipe goes in the guild shop. And as we heard from the stream from Tony and Justin, this will cost mastery crowns to craft. They don't show you how many you need in here, so we'll see how many it costs. And they also don't tell you the numbers. So give me a guess, Foxy. How much mitigation is this going to be?
Well, since it's a global unit, and seeing how we got some quite nice intrinsic abilities update for the previous 4 GL units, I would say about 80%.
80%. That is probably higher than it's going to be, but not high enough. I would say for this to be worth it, it needs to, at the very least, match Runda. Runda is a free unit who is coming to like nearly every Clash of Wills recently because no one does mitigation on the level of stupid free Runda. And it's nice that Runda is free, but it is stupid that there are no alternatives. No one does mitigation on the level and the uptime of Runda. I know some people can do like cooldowns or Grandis for more mitigation, but for permanent mitigation, no one does 85 like Runda. And this is a perfect opportunity to let Melia, who, let's be honest here, is pretty worthless these days. No one uses Melia for anything. This is the perfect opportunity to give her full uptime 85 general mit for the party. Will they do it? Tune in Thursday to find out. Do you think they will, Foxy?
I mean, it's Melia, so I don't have that much confidence,
I am expecting it to be not what we need it to be, but we'll see on Thursday. And then for the one that people are going to probably be upset about, Napi's intrinsic is I don't like this at all. So tell me what you think about this, Foxy. So we've got a solo Napi step-up banner where you get, it costs 12,000 lapis to get Napi's Intrinsic. Napi's Intrinsic is also limited time, and the only unit on the banner is Napi herself. I've already got an EX3 Napi plus like 3 extra copies just because, I've been playing for a long time, and she's a really, really old unit. This step-up banner does absolutely nothing for me, and the Intrinsic requires me to go 12k deep on basically a completely useless banner just for the Intrinsic. So how do you feel about this, Foxy?
Well, how old of a unit is Noppy right now?
More than a year. I'm not sure the exact
More than
date,
a year.
definitely more than a year.
So I'm not sure how powerful this will make Noppy, because we see that this intrinsic ability gives her good stats and the chain damage limit +1, but we don't see how much the chain mods it will change, like what it did with Sky. So it may make or break her. But if you're forcing me to use Lapis on a more than 1 year old unit to make her good again, well, I'm gonna keep my Lapis. That's what I'm gonna say.
So I did some calculations on Napi on some potential modifier boost. So Starlight Elena got a 400x modifier boost. So if Napi gets a 400x modifier boost, she's good. She's about on par with our strong units these days. That being said, she still has all the problems of extremely low bulk, etc. Terrible frame. She uses Stardust Ray, which is garbage, etc. But at 400x modifier, she deals decent damage. At like 200x modifier, she does too low damage to matter. At lower than 200, she's still complete trash. So it really depends on the modifier. If it's 400 or higher, okay, it's decent. If it's like 300, it's debatable. At 200 or less, it's a big skip.
It's really still a hard sell for most people to buy an ability at this point. If it costs something else, if it costs Master Crown like Melius, I would have been fine with it. But if it costs Lapis, for people who don't pay for Lapis, it cannot be worth it. It cannot be worth it because it's such an old unit,
Exactly, and more than that, it's on this horrible garbage ass banner. Like if this ticket was on this shitty banner, I'd consider it maybe okay, because you're going for Riku, maybe getting Riku's STMR, and you're getting Nappi's Intrinsic along the way. Then I would honestly be tempted to potentially go 12k deep on this banner if it gave me Nappi's Intrinsic along the way. But as a standalone and all I'm getting is Nappi, you can keep that crap. I know. No.
The value is really too low. I mean, maybe if a new player sees this banner and he or she likes Noppy, go for it, because you get instant X1 Noppy or X2 Noppy.
Let's see. So you get 1 copy of Napi, and you get looks like 100 shards. So no, that's EX1. EX1.
Oh, okay, EX1. Then you get an EX1 and half Noppy, and then you get the intrinsic ability for her. So she is still kind of powerful in outright for a new player. But for most people here, I'm watching this video, I'm sure 12k Lapis is really hard to come by these days.
Mm-hmm. And it also feels bad that it's limited time too. So for people that don't know, all the other intrinsics seem to be permanent. When I made that new account, like a month and a half after the anniversary, and all the intrinsics were in the mail, so they seem to be like permanent additions. This is, I guess, our first limited time intrinsic, because this one I would assume is going to stay in the guild shop. It doesn't say anything about limited time, so this one I assume is a permanent intrinsic. The first 4 are permanent, or the first 6 are permanent, or is it 4? I don't know. The first ones are permanent intrinsics. This one seems to be limited. It costs a lot. Depending on the modifiers, it's either still terrible or good. This feels like a misstep to me. I don't like how they're doing this. Hopefully they don't do the same thing in the future.
Well, if it's good, it really has to justify that 12k Lapis, because a normal banner these days costs what? 46,000 lapis, and the premium costs 60,000 lapis. This is like what? Almost one third of it. One third of a normal banner.
Exactly.
The return is just not there.
And just to make things worse, I'm even noticing these aren't even real summons. Look at this. The first one is a 10+1. This is only a 9 and a 7 summon. Like, are they really too cheap to just give us 3 real summons all the way to 10+1 each step? Like, come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, so Season 4. Story continues. It's really about it. Story continues. More of this stuff. But more importantly, now, we've talked about it many times in the past, the upcoming Tulian, his bracer, or his pants, I don't know what this is, whatever. But it's here. So we were worried that maybe Gumi would delay it or skip it, because this is a really amazing upgrade, but they're not. Here it is. So this gives Tulian a 160 Earth Imperil and an 89% defense break. This is incredibly good. This makes Tulian very, very strong and useful. His damage is still terrible, but it makes him a great breaker.
Nice. I just got his X2 today from the free pool, so it came at the right time.
Nice. Oh, now I will mention that this is a cooldown that comes from the gear, meaning you can have a full power Tulian at EX0. That is all you need. Because he can at EX0, he can still equip this. He still has the 89 break and the 160 imperil at EX0. As long as you have a single copy of Tulian, you can use his powerful break and imperil. That being said, his damage will be even worse than terrible at EX0, and he can't do the good axe imperil at EX0. He still do an axe imperil. It's not as strong, but yeah, really the reason you're bringing him is for this. And this is super, super, super good. So hopefully you guys have a Tulian.
I mean, is it a good thing that people have Tulian? If I see a red crystal popping up and it comes out Tulian, I'm just, god damn it.
I am too, because I technically did pull for Tulian because he came on the Leave It To Me Vision Cards banner. So I did pull.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled for the card, and I got Tulian along the way. I got like 2 or 3 twins. I got a lot of twins along the way. And since then, I've gotten like 4 or 5 more. So he is EX3 for me without even trying. So yes, at this point, when I see Tulian, I don't like him anymore.
I got his X2 on off banner, and even without pulling for him, every time I see him pop up from the MV crystal, I'm just like, oh, come on, man. Give me something else. Anything. Even Cloud. I would have taken Cloud over Tulian.
Oof. And then the big thing everyone has been hyped for is the unit or the user interface update. But more importantly, get rid of all the potions, cactuars, turtles, etc. All of that gets vaporized this Thursday, gets converted into a currency. So good. So, with the release of the patch, when you first log in, keep this in mind, there'll be a notice about the conversion, and the conversion can take up to 5 minutes. It shouldn't take that long for most people. I remember on the JP server when I first logged in, it took like a minute and a half for me. So really, I guess I'll kind of be in like worst case scenario, if your phone is maybe like, an old potato, it might take 5 minutes for you. But for most people, it'll be less than that. It just depends on the power of your phone. But when you log in, it's going to take a moment to convert all of your, turtles, cactuars, etc., and they get removed. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole interface update in detail. I do have a preview video from the JP server where I go step by step through the entire interface. It is on the JP server, but the whole video is, spoken in English. You can watch that if you want to. You can just, on my channel, search for user interface preview or something like that. Or maybe if I remember, I'll put a link in the comments to that video. And you can check that out, or just check it out on Thursday when it comes. Like, it's not too confusing to navigate the new UI. It does take some getting used to, and you will definitely be confused, for the first hour or so. But once you figure it out, it's pretty easy to use. So this interface on the JP server, after they gave it, did you like it better, Foxy?
Oh my god, I've been waiting for this update since the anniversary in jail, since they announced it. One of the main reasons why I'm still in jail is is this update here. As long as this update is here, I may stay in jail a bit longer. But if this update came any later, I would have just delete uninstalled the game, because I have so many things in my goddamn inbox I can't get rid of. Now I can claim everything, dust them into the goddamn point system, and have that clean inbox that you always wanted, so that when next time we stream, you won't get triggered by the 99 in my inbox.
Exactly. So
I've been waiting for this.
This would be very, very nice. The other thing is the Chamber of Arms is reopening. So this is the 10-man trials. They haven't changed at all, so they're exactly the same as they always were. Extremely power crept. You haven't done them, but there is some really good gear in the Chamber of Arms, like some killer materia. That's basically it. Some killer materia. But it's good killer materia. So it's reopening. If you're a newer player and never did it, or you just like an older player that's super lazy, well, it's open again, and now you can go and do that. So that'll be fun to do. I will, go through with my newbie account and clear all of that at some point this week. It'll be nice. It gives you the only thing I can remember specifically that's still really good is the Equip Helm materia. That's really good for the Clash of Wills helm, and then the Man-Eater Plus is again a great materia. Other than that, it's like mostly power craft. Is there anything else, Foxy, that I'm forgetting that's good from here?
To get the Holy Rod for light stuff. Yeah, that one's easy to get.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also that replica Fire Whip, which gives any player who can equip Whip, as long as they get equipped with, to do Firaga and Chain.
Forgot about that. Yeah, it's really good as well. Okay, yeah, so there actually is quite a few nice items in this Chamber of Arms, and they're really easy to do. So going there with the Neovisions, OTK it on turn. You can't OTK it on turn 1 because all of these have HP locks. The glory days of like 5 different HP locks.
It's interesting, this update. Actually, I think this is the most interesting update of the batch, because JP still doesn't have it open yet, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, no, they do.
Oh, is it open?
Yeah,
I have not been there in a long time.
It's open in JP. Yeah, they opened it a while back.
Oh, okay. I have not gone back there in a while, so I thought it was always closed. But I really wish they buffed it a bit. I mean, everything's power crap now, so even new players pulling anything new these days with just like not one shot, but 2-3 shots, 2-3 shot the bosses. So maybe some upgrades would be nice for a bit of challenge, but can be helped.
Yeah. And then the last thing is maintenance. So maintenance is predicted to be 11 hours. What is your bet, Foxy, that it's going to actually be only 11 hours? Is that going to be the case?
Just give it a day and then give us a 5k lapis compensation. I won't bet an eye. I don't mind, as long as I get that 5k compensation.
This is a really, really big update. So chances of extended maintenance are very, very high. So 11 hours finishing on time is optimistic. It'd be great if it does, but probably not. That being said, there's really not any new content this week other than the Mog King. So it's not like we're rushing to get in there and clear a new trial or a new Dark Visions boss. But there's really, other than the Mog King, like if they open it late, who cares? So whatever, take a day off.
Exactly. Might as well just put it here. Like it will take 24 hours, and then sorry for that, we'll give you 1k lapis compensation. I was like, I would have been fine with that if they just state that outright instead of unexpected circumstances, extended maintenance, blah blah.
Mm-hmm. And then just a quick notice right here: when you upgrade to the new client version, you may have a white background when it's updating, so just don't freak out. That's a visual glitch. But yeah, so that's the content for the week. Anything else you want to mention before we end it, Foxy?
No, but are you aware that Yuna sang a song in the opening of Final Fantasy X2?
She did. Well, actually, can we? This game's really old. We're gonna spoil it. Yuna did not sing the song in the opening of X2. It was.
Oh, damn it!
It was. Oh God, what was her name? LeBlanc, right?
Yes.
Yes. Spoilers. Okay, the game's really old. Hopefully no one minds. And you find out in the first 5 minutes anyway, so it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah. Well, it's time for you to sing it to end this video.
All right, so this is where the video ends. We will see you guys next time. Later.
What can I do for you? I can hear you.
Go for it, Foxy. Sing it.
I'm shy.
Okay, so we only got one verse. I will see you guys next time.
I'll be honest, I forgot the lyrics. Maybe next time.
Later.